morning, students. I am Vikas Jasu, your science teacher. First of all, welcome all of you in the 10th class. So, in 10th class, we are studying in science 20 chapters. Okay, our science syllabus is divided into two parts: science part first and science part second. Okay, so in that, science part first has 10 chapters, science part 2 has 10 chapters. So total throughout the academic year we have to study 20 chapters. All the best for your throughout academic year first of all. Okay, now we have to study first part first science, that is belong to chemistry and physics part. In that, part second belongs to the biology and ecology part. So we have to study part first. In that we have to start chapter number first, gravitation, that is belong to the physics part. So actually this gravitation concept is not very new for us. We are here from must with previous classes, because we have heard the very famous story of Sir Isaac Newton, that is the apple fall on his head, and that story we are already here. Okay, and from that they discovered this concept, that is the gravitation. Actually this is not a very unknown concept for us. It is very familiar concept actually, because whatever the stability of this universe has, that is also due to the gravitation. Simply we stay very easily on the surface of ground, that is also due to the gravitation. So each and every time, each and every moment we are dealing with gravitation. Okay, so this is very important concept that we have to see in this standard. You will be find this concept in 11th 12th standard books. Okay, so whatever you study in this year, that you have to apply same concept in the next 2 years for 11th and 12th. So it is very important, this chapter. So I suggest you that you have to study carefully this chapter, because so it will be problematic for us in next 2 years. Actually this is very easy concept. So we see it what happened actually in gravitation in this year. Now I think directly go inside the chapters. First we see some basic concept that we have to use in this chapter for proper understanding. Now that proper understanding, basic concept, we are already studied in 9th and 8th standard. First of all we will revise all that concept. In that, first very important concept, that is the force. If we see 8th standard book, in that they give definition of a force, that nothing but the pull or push. Now what is exactly meaning of pull or push? Now suppose I have to open door. If I have to open door inside, then I have to pull that door. If I have to close door, then I have to push that door. Actually pulling or pushing, in that two cases what we actually do, actually we apply some external thing, due to that motion of that door is takes place. So if we have to make a proper definition of a force, then how can we define force? Simply some external thing that move an object, that is simply called as a force. Force is what? An external thing. By application of that we can move position of a particular object, that is simply we called as a force. That will be, we can define properly force. Now second thing, if we apply force on a somewhat object, at that time what changes in that object takes place. First of all, if we apply force on a particular object, at that time shape or size of that object get changes, maybe changes. Okay, take some very familiar example, that is the making of chapati. So for the making in chapati process, we take first some atta, then we apply force on that atta and we make round shaped chapati. Okay, so simply what happened, due to the application of force, we change shape and size of that atta. So from this example, we can understand that by the application of force, we can change shape and size of a particular object. Second thing is that by the application of force, we can start moving an object. Okay, we can give simply velocity to an particular object. Suppose consider one case, one football is placed here, and if I kick that football, actually I kick means what? I apply somewhat force on that particular football, that is why it gain velocity. So initially that football is in rest position, but by the application of external force, what happen? It start moving. From this example, we understood that due to the application of force, object start moving. Okay. Then next is, due to the application of force, object may stop moving. Suppose consider an example, we are driving a motorcycle. Now when we are reach a certain position and if we have to stop, then we apply brake. Due to the friction is not simply, friction is a one force. Due to the application of that frictional force, our vehicle is stopped. So simply in that example we studied, due to the application of force, we can stop motion of an object. Next is, due to the application of force, direction changes. We can change direction of a moving object by the application of force. For that, we have to take example of cricket. Suppose if any bowler balls, okay, at that time batsman hit that ball in one direction. Due to the hitting, what happened? Hitting means what? Simply batsman apply force in one particular direction, and due to that force, direction of ball get changes. Okay, so we can say that due to the application of force, what happened? Direction of an object may be changes. And next is, due to the application of force, what happened? Object accelerate or decelerate. Now we already studied in 9th standard the acceleration, deceleration. Acceleration is not simply changing velocity with respect to time, is simply called as a acceleration. Okay, so we can accelerate or decelerate. Okay, in consider an example of our vehicle. Okay, we have one accelerator. If you move that accelerator, then our vehicle will get speed simply. If that speed is continuously increasing, that's called as a positive acceleration. And if we decelerate means what? We have to slow down that object by the application of external force. So we can increase speed of vehicle or decrease speed of vehicle. So in the sense, we can say that we can accelerate that particular vehicle or decelerate that vehicle. So by the application of external force, we can accelerate or decelerate an object. Okay, so this is the force, and due to the application of force, what changes will take place there? Shape or size changes. It will start moving. It will stop. Its direction will change, or it may be accelerate or decelerate. That changes in an particular object takes place due to the application of force. Okay. Now next topic, that is the type of forces. Now we studied in 8th standard there are two basic type of forces. First of all, contact forces, and second is non-contact forces. Now we have to study first type, that is the contact forces. If you see this word contact means what? Simply, I ask you what is the meaning of contact, then you will say two things are very near to each other. Okay, so same way, contact force means what? If two objects are physically contact with each other, then that force is called as a contact force. Okay, so in that first example is frictional force. Frictional force is a contact force. Okay, now suppose take one example. Suppose I have throw a ball on ground surface. So what happen after covering some distance? That ball will be stops. Why that ball will stop? Why that will not continue its motion? So simply you will say that answer is of friction with the ground and surface of ball. Due to that what happen, continuously its velocity gets reduced, and due to the reduction in velocity, after reaching one particular point, that ball will be stopped. Okay, so actually what happen here, ground and ball surface are directly contact with each other. So that is why this frictional force is fall in the category of contact force. Second is normal force. Sorry, applied force. So if I have to move, suppose a somewhat object here place here. Okay, so if I have to push that object in forward direction, so what I have to do, I have to apply force on that object in that forward direction. So that applied force in the forward direction for the motion of that particular object is called as a applied force. So for the application of force, what I have to do, I have to push that object, means I have to came in contact with that particular object, then and then that motion of that particular object is takes place. Now suppose I have to move that object and I am here. Only object is there and I am applying force from here. It is possible to move that object? Yes or not? No, because I have to first came in contact with that object and then I have to push it. Then and then motion will be takes place. Okay, so that is why now applied force is also came in category of contact force. Next is normal force. So here third is normal force. Here we have to see, suppose we consider a one table, okay, and I put one book on that table. So we know when I put a book in that table, then due to we know we studied the gravitation, also we studied Newton's third law, equal and opposite force will normal force. Consider an example, if I place a one book on surface of table. We study Newton's third law. In that law tells us that every action there is equal and opposite reaction. If I place a one book on that table, then that book will apply somewhat force on the surface of table. Equal and opposite force will apply by table upside by the surface of table. That force upward side is called as a normal force. Okay, so in that what happened, book and table also are came in contact. So this normal force are also came in category of fall in category of contact force. Next is for spring force. Okay, if we stretch or press spring, at that time force will be restored in spring. Okay, so that is also a contact force. And next is air resistance force. Simply when we are traveling in a particular vehicle, then surrounding present air try to resist our motion. So that air also came in our contact for resist us, that will be applied force on us. So that force is nothing but the air resistance force, and that is also a contact force. Okay, so simply this is the one type of force in that two objects are directly physically contact with each other. That is why they are called as a contact force. These are some examples of contact force. Now we have to see second type, that is non-contact force. Simply, if we look at this word non-contact, it tells us directly two objects are not in directly contact with each other. They are much far away from each other. Okay. So in that, first example is gravitational force. We know our solar system is totally based on gravitational force. Sun also apply gravitational force on Earth, but we know the distance between Sun and Earth is very large, means they are not directly contact with each other. There is also exist force, but two objects are not in directly physical contact. So gravitational force we can call it is also a non-contact force. Second is electrical force. In electrical force, what we studied electrical charges. In electrical charges, positive and negative charges are came in influence with each other, then they attract or repel each other. Means there is also no direct contact is required. And last is magnetic force. We are also know when north pole of magnet and south pole of magnet, means like poles are came into one certain influence, not directly contact, then they repel each other. And when unlike poles, means south pole, north pole are came in contact means somewhat influence, not directly contact, then they attract each other. Okay. So from that we understood that magnetic force is also a non-contact force. Okay. So force is very basic quantity that is required for the production of motion in one somewhat particular object. Okay. So due to the application of force, these some changes are taking place in an object, and these are some basic type of forces that we are already studied in previous classes. So next topic we have to see, that is the force and motion. So we are already detailed study about the force. Force is a very basic quantity required for the motion of any object. Okay. So now if I want to, suppose I place one object here and I want to place one object from here to that position. So simply what I have to do, very basic thing is that I have to apply somewhat force on that object. Then I have to take that object in my hand, I go there and again take that particular object in that position. Okay. So simply what I have to do, first I have to do apply force, then and then motion is possible. Okay. So in that force and motion, in this concept we understood that unless force, motion we cannot produce. If we want to produce motion in a particular object, then we have to apply force must be there. Okay. Without force, motion is not possible. So that thing you have to remember, that for we have to put an object in a motion, then we have to apply force on that particular object, then motion is possible. Okay. Then next one thing we have to see, that is circular motion, centripetal force. Okay. So circular motion. Okay. We are already studied about motion in 9th standard. Okay. Motion is a concept which tells us that motion means what? Simply changing position of an particle or object with reference to one particular position. Okay. So suppose I am here. So suppose this is my reference point and I move certain distance. Suppose I go here. Okay. My initial position is that, and now I am here. Okay. So what happened with respect to that position? Now my position is changed. So this concept is simply called as a motion with reference to initial point. Now my position is changes. Okay. So simply the changing of a position with reference to some point that is simply called as a motion. So we have to study circular motion. We are familiar with linear velocity. Linear means straight line velocity. Now we have to study circular velocity, circular motion. Okay. Now circular motion. So what idea is coming in our mind? Circular motion means what? There is a motion, but which type of motion? Circular motion. Okay. Circular means what? We know circle shape. We are already studied about circle. So the motion of an object in a circular way. Simply, we define circular motion how? The motion of an object on circumference of a circle is simply called as a circular motion. What? Motion of an object on circumference of circle is called as a circular motion. Okay, now here is also one motion, and we studied force and motion are the two relative parts. Motion is possible, but when we have to apply force, then and then motion is possible. But here motion is also takes place. Okay, but here is also force is required. Then how that force come? So always remember that in circular motion, one force is responsible for the circular motion of an object, and that force is called as a centripetal force. Which force? Centripetal force. For the circular motion, one force is responsible, that called as a centripetal force. Okay? This force is always towards the center of an object. Always inward. Always inward. That is why it also called as a center seeking force. We call center seeking force or centripetal force. Okay? Understood? What circular motion? Circular motion means what? Motion of an object on the circumference of circle is simply called as a circular motion. Circular very simply. Okay? Now here, suppose m is the mass of an object which is in circular motion. Okay? Now what happened? It has a velocity, no doubt about that. That is why it is in motion. And one force that binds that object toward this center. That is your centripetal force. So what is about velocity? Suppose that object is here. Now whatever the velocity that object has, that velocity has this direction. Okay? Then velocity is in this direction and centripetal force is toward the center of this circle. Now this object is moved and came here. Okay, suppose this object is came here. Now velocity is in this direction. Again, this object moved and came here, then our velocity will be in this direction. Okay, so from that we understood that in circular motion velocity is always in tangential direction to the circle, and due to the centripetal force here toward the center, what happened? Each position, each point on this circle, direction of that object changes due to the presence of the centripetal force. Okay, so due to the centripetal force, circular motion is responsible. Which force is required there? Centripetal force. Due to that, circular motion is possible. Okay, and circular motion is what? Motion of an object around the circumference of circle. That's called as a centripetal force. That called as a circular motion. And centripetal force is what? The force which is act towards the center and binds an object. So due to that, what happened? circular motion will be possible. Okay, now what is the formula for the centripetal force? Formula for the centripetal force is given by m v square by r. M v square by r. Okay, so m is mass of this object which is in circular motion. V square, v means what? Velocity of that object in circular motion, and r is radius of this circle. Okay, so this is the formula for centripetal force, mv square by r. Okay, so today in this lecture we are start chapter number 1st, gravitation. In that we are studying first of all some basic concept, that is force, effect of force, type of force. Okay, so all that things you again revise. Okay, because that is important part we know. Next is we study about force and motion. So in that we study for the motion of any object, force is most important. Unless of a force, motion is not possible. Okay, and next part, that is the circular motion and centripetal force, that also we studied in this chapter. In circular motion, simply we study definition. Definition you have to must remember. Okay, simply circular motion means what? Motion of an object in circular way, or we can say circumference of a circle is simply called as a circular motion. And one force is always present there in circular motion. We can say that because of that force, this circular motion is possible. That force is called as a centripetal force. Okay, that force is always toward the center of circle. Due to that, what happens? It binds that object in this circular manner. Due to this force, circular motion is possible. And formula of centripetal force is mv square by r. Where m is the mass of that object, v is the velocity, and r is the radius of this circle. Okay, so that much study we are carry about in today's introductory lecture. Okay, now actually starting this chapter will be from tomorrow. In tomorrow's lecture we have to study Kepler's laws. That Kepler laws are one important part that always asked in our board examination for 3 marks. Only 3 statements we have to remember there. Very easy statements. Okay. Kepler law is totally based on the universal stability, how our planets are revolves, what are their trajectories, and how their time periods are proportional to this radius, their orbit's radius. Okay, so all that relation we have to study in Kepler laws, that we will study in tomorrow's lecture. Thank you.